to me what we play, Lisa. Hey, hey, let me warn you and you, hey, you. Ragamuffin International coming to. Hear me say, Lisa, you're the most I know. Yeah. All night long. Stay tuned to Ragamuffin International. Must tell you truthfully about Ragamuffin International. Listen, stay tuned. Play me special song. Keep on coming through. Keep your dial right there. Yeah. I swear. We are the best. Yes. No other radio station can test. Ooh, yeah. Got to warn you and you, hey, you. We got that. What's that? Hear me say it's true. A big box, a dope. I'm talking current. It's getting through. One of them must say music, play. Yeah. Lots of current through the airwave. Don't move the dial. Ooh, I'm talking. Yeah. All night long.
The voice of the Caribbean. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube.
Welcome back. It is an extended edition, specially just for you, of the Suzette Speak Show right here on the Voice of the Caribbean. Welcome, one and all. If you're just joining us, the time in the city is now 2:07. Ms. Lisa has given us the privilege of just staying a little bit longer because all this news takes a little time to discuss. So much news, so little time. We're going to do it rapid fire after we have talked about the Nolan Wells case. We have talked about the Carmelo Anthony case and others, and we went over the election results. We're going to pivot to what's going on in Palm Beach County because it has been so important and it's flying under the radar, but not on our watch. Nope. Here at Voice of the Caribbean, we're bringing you news you can use, of course, things you should pay attention to, things that matter, right? Matter to us. I'm going to go over some food recalls before we end. I promise you that there have been many recalls. What's going on in the government, guys? What's going on with our food safety? And we don't want you to eat anything that's not bad. The list is growing on the recall side, so stay tuned for that. But we want to warn you, the next story has some sensitive topics to it when it comes to children and abuse. So if you're sensitive to those topics, we want to warn you, and we're going to go into detail because this involves a public official in Palm Beach County, the Palm Beach clerk of the court to be specific. So if you haven't heard about this story, I don't know why, because it should be making waves. This is a man who has violated not only his public trust, but his own family. So I'm going to ask Lexi to do some of the unpacking and tell us what happened in this story.
Yes. Another really quick trigger warning because this is very sensitive content. But a Palm Beach County official, Michael Caruso, appointed by Governor Ron DeSantis, is behind bars and facing 5 felony charges stemming from allegations of child sexual abuse. Michael Caruso, the Palm Beach County clerk of court and comptroller, was arrested Tuesday and later appeared before a judge who denied his bond. Investigators allege the victim was a young male relative, and the charges included things like kidnapping, child molestation, enticing a child, and child abuse causing mental injury. DeSantis has now suspended Caruso from office, and the investigation remains ongoing.
Wow, that's a mouthful. Like, we're going to break that down a little bit more, guys, because it is such an offensive allegation. Again, all in this, all involved in this are innocent until proven guilty, but we don't want to let this go under the radar at all because it is a part of our community, of course, our listening area. We go all the way from the Keys, well up into Palm Beach, past to Jupiter. We also simulcast to Orlando during our drive time. Big up Candice Buchanan on the Drive Time show. And, we serve international, really, people because you guys listen from all over the world on the app and across the country. But when there is someone who has violated public trust in this way, we do not want to ignore it. And we want to make sure others who might have been impacted are also aware. So as we share this story, we are, again, advising our listeners, if you are sensitive to this type of news, I feel you on that. Sometimes nobody wants to talk about it. But the way this person has been appointed by Governor Ron DeSantis, and I think what bothers me is it seems like they missed the vetting.
Yes.
We had an accusation in the past, and this former Palm Beach County now, he was just serving, suspended this week, clerk of the court. His name is Mike Caruso. Mike Caruso has been charged with child sex abuse. And again, we are seeing him now being transferred to the Orange County, right, Orlando area, to be dealt with and for the due process of our Constitution to take place. But nobody is saying he is guilty yet, right? We have to be sure everybody is presumed innocent until proven guilty. And I want to be very clear about that. But we are hearing more and more of these allegations, and it is, again, appalling to so many. Not only the people of Palm Beach County, the people throughout the South Florida region, people of the state of Florida. So we wanted you to know that the Palm Beach County clerk appointed recently, or I forget when the appointment took place, by Governor Ron DeSantis, Mike Caruso, made his first court appearance at the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, Criminal Justice Complex. Actually, I have done many cases up there in unincorporated Palm Beach County. That was just a couple of days ago, August 19th. Caruso is charged with child sex abuse of a younger male relative. And the details are a little bit sordid. We're not going to get all the way into it. We'll try to keep it light in the daytime. I'm going to move on. But, I mean, think about the public trust, but think about the family trust that was broken. This little boy, it is a boy under the age of 12 who was trusted, and they said during family trips and cruise and things like that. And unfortunately, this person, the former Palm Beach County clerk, took advantage of this young man, this young boy, in such a heinous way. And I want to encourage our listeners, we're sharing this story not only to let you know what's going on, but we also want you, if you are exposed to, or if you know of someone who is violating another human being in this way, we want to encourage you, report it.
Say something.
It's too much quietness, too much under the cover, under the radar. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's your uncle, it's your grandfather. People, especially in Caribbean culture, talk the thing.
Yes.
We're taught, oh, but it's not that bad. You still got them at Christmas though. You still got them at Thanksgiving though. And you know how they violate. So we got to really use this as a teachable moment.
Exactly.
Mr. Caruso, I don't even look on this picture. Former Palm Beach County clerk Mike Caruso has been allegedly charged with violating 5 counts of felony counts of child sex abuse of a younger male relative under the age of 12. He's been transferred to Orange County. And again, we're not make them sweep this one under the rug. This one rough to talk about. I'm going to leave it right here. But just so you know, so we make sure, because if it was other people, you see it all over the news.
Exactly.
We got one justice system, and it should treat everyone equal, in my opinion. And we want to see justice in this case. Yes. The judge now in the case, Judge Donald H. Hafel, issued a no contact order against former Palm Beach County clerk Mike Caruso, just charged this week with sexual abuse of a minor. The judge ordered him not to have any contact, no contact with the victim or the family, in addition to anyone under the age of 18 during former Palm Beach County clerk's Mike Caruso's first appearance in court. He's being transferred now to Orange County. Anyway, we're going to stay on top of that. We want to cover a couple more stories before we go. I want you to talk about Jason Arday, because there's a story that has originated out of England, and I think people are confused about it because there was such a attempt to... Let me let you break down the story first, and then I'll give my opinion of it. This came out of England, involving the first black professor at Cambridge. Youngest, thank you. Black professor at Cambridge, most prestigious school, some would argue, in the world.
Yes. And
how he was treated after allegations, many that were unproven and unfounded. Anyway, I'm going to ask Lexi, break down this story of Jason Arday.
Really quick breakdown on Mr. Jason Arday. The death of Jason Arday at Cambridge University, their youngest black professor, has now become part of the larger debate about race, academic freedom, and what happens when, this criticism, this public, this, kind of being dragged in the media gets over into more personal attacks. Arday resigned from Cambridge after plagiarism allegations surfaced, allegations that he personally denied, and then died just a few days later at the age of 41. Now, the American academic publicly made the accusations. Mr. Nathan Kofnes has been suspended by his own university in Belgium, all the way in Belgium. How is he minding other people's business in Belgium? Anyways, while the school investigates his conduct and public statements, Mr. Kofnes, the story is raising difficult questions about whether, there is legitimate academics, or whether legitimate academic scrutiny and harassment, has some kind of racial charge to it as well.
Well done, Lexi. Yeah, this is a twisting, turning story, because there's not a thing that puts anyone above scrutiny when it comes to academia. Mm-hmm. But then there's, like you said, when the scrutiny end and when this harassment begin.
Yes.
I am going to play. I have a couple of clips from a rally being held, or that was recently held in London, in memory of Jason Arday. But there are so many people with varying opinions. Again, what we're sharing is our own opinion. Viewer listenership, and listenership is advised, but listenership discretion, there we go, is advised. But you got to look into this story. Again, it made headlines for like a week. It is now dying down, but there are people who cared about this man and care enough to host rallies in his honor and to ask for justice to be done in the Jason Arday case, because there's many who believe that the online onslaught of negative reporting, of unfounded negative reporting, article after article. I had a graph up with how many articles was written about this Cambridge professor in a week, at the end of which he took his life. Now, I do think this is a story about cyberbullying, what the media's role is.
Yes.
People who call themselves media. Some people are just, entertainers and bloggers, but it impacted this young man in such a way. Just even the question about his academic integrity, not saying it can't be asked, but the pile-on of negative stories, making presumptions about him and his academic record and who he is. And as a person that I read that he was nonverbal and never even spoke until he was like 11. And for him to have broken the barriers that he did, he deserved fair scrutiny, not just unfettered scrutiny. And again, as he took his own life, it begs the question, and we're asking it here, what really, or who really is to blame? Like, is there something that we could do better as human beings than accuse another human being and relentlessly beat them down online until they take their own life? Was it right? Was it wrong? Who is to blame? And it has been quite shocking. And again, I have been watching this story unfold. Mr. Jason Arday didn't deserve the end that he had, which was after all of this public scrutiny and article after article after article. I'm trying to find out the clips of his rally. I was watching the rally and I shed a tear. I kept thinking, were people exploiting his academic downfall? Are they now exploiting his death? Like, there's so many questions now. And there's white academics all the time that get accused of plagiarism or not.
And it's never this publicized.
No, you never hear their name. It's actually quite common. I have friends and colleagues who work in academia, have been academicians for quite some time. They're professors and whatnot. There are white people all the time accused of this type of thing.
Exactly.
But you don't see it in the news. You definitely don't see the onslaught of article after article. Thousands gathered for a vigil just this week to stand up to what they believe was the racist attack. I'm going to play a little bit from CNN.
Yes.
And try to catch some of the vibes. You can understand how it impacted people. This is a short from CNN. Let me see if I can get this on for you guys so you can hear sights and sounds of his vigil. And I did want to bring this to you, the people, because it was so heart-wrenching to understand how much this pressure weighed on this young man. This is from CNN's shorts about Jason Arday, the Cambridge professor that took his own life after much public, people would call it even cyberbullying, and article after article accusing him of not being who he says he was in his work. And here's what the rally goer said. just some sights and sounds. I could play more, but I just wanted to give you a feel of a human being who was a professor, but beyond that, a father, son, community light and person who deserved not to take his own life because of the relentless onslaught of negative articles that were written about him. Now, I am grateful again that there are people across this, not only across the pond in England, but here across this nation, who are paying attention to the story because his life mattered. And again, there are questions that it raises about journalism and so-called, I don't even want to call it journalism, but some of these people who made this accusation and were dumping on him, cyberbullying him to his death, hounded to death, as this one lady put it in this interview. So I am heartbroken for him, his family. He should be here. Even if there were allegations, he should have a moment or the possibility of defending himself. Again, he denied all of that. But there are, questions that need to be answered. But again, how the media and the approach taken to getting to those answers is the question, whether it was humane and not. I know even with me, watching people do and post negativity about you is so damaging to your self-esteem.
Yeah.
So can you imagine tens of articles over and over again in just a few days about you, how that might have impacted a vulnerable person? As they say, he already had some underlying challenges.
Exactly.
So this way of handling it, especially in London, their media is it's on steroids.
They don't joke.
We have our media and they follow you, not like in London, baby.
Yeah.
And Harry and Meghan, going back to that, I was like, I hope they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because the media over there,
public scrutiny, the way people respond to alleged headlines,
yes,
always an immediate response of negativity and believing what they see before acknowledging the facts.
That's the key. That's a great point, Lexi. We don't want to be a part of the people that jump to conclusions without allowing due process and the facts to come out. And I think that's where he was done a disservice. So we just wanted to do an in memoriam for Professor Jason Arday. He should be with us today. He should be with us again. The professor and youngest professor ever appointed to Cambridge, who lost his life, took his own life after an onslaught of articles being written about him negatively. And you never know what someone can deal with, and should they have been written in that manner, people are going to continue to debate. So we wanted to take some time to acknowledge him on the Suzette Speak Show. I want to also let you guys know I've been promising about what is going on with our food safety. What is happening? Again, we're almost out of time, guys, so I'm just going to go down this list. The USA Today, switching gears, is letting us know from snacks and produce to eggs and meat. Recent recalls are affecting products across every food group. While widespread jalapeno, remember it was started with a jalapeno recall that was linked to a salmonella outbreak, is the top of our minds as consumers. According to the USA Today, other at-risk items could still be lingering in your kitchen. I read online, one lady, I just want to divert from the USA Today's article. One lady says she got the cyclospora, and it's not a joke. Straight diarrhea for how much days? And she said she lost 12 pounds. It's not a joke. When we talk about foodborne illness, I'm like, that's nothing. That's cyclospora. Depending on your individual body, you do not know how it's going to impact you. Foodborne illness is serious. So as we get these reports, cyclosporosis, another foodborne illness that has been making headlines this summer, led to an extensive, we already knew, lettuce recall that started in July. However, the impacted items had best if used by dates as early as early August. So if you still have some lettuce from Taylor Farms, the alleged culprit, you need to throw it away. So they should be out of fridges now, but in case they're still in your refrigerator, beware. Also, more than 1 million eggs were recalled last month for potential salmonella contamination. The products have best by dates of August 17th. Anyone who has purchased those, the jalapenos, the guacamole recalls. I wanted to get to the frozen berries because I saw it was Publix brand frozen berries. And I meant make sure you are aware. There's a whole list. You can follow it up on USA Today. I'm going to let Lexi have her goodbye. Guys, it's our last show. So I wanted to give you the final list of what we're figuring out. But affected products were sold at places like Chipotle, Cordoba, guacamole, anything that had jalapenos in it. They're saying it should be cleared, some of these places, but I wanted to also bring up the green wise. This is what I saw, because if you're a Publix person, Publix is very popular, Florida store. Blueberries, mixed berries that are sold at Publix have been recalled, right? So just know, blueberries and frozen mixed berries sold at Publix locations in 8 states were recalled last month after being linked to E. coli. Per the FDA, we're talking about 10-ounce green wise whole blueberries, 48-ounce green wise organic whole blueberries, organic whole mixed berries, organic whole mixed berries, 10-ounce and 48-ounce, including the state of Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky. Anyway, Lexi, I'm gonna give you a 2-minute farewell. I want to appreciate you and just tell her thanks, y'all. She brought me some flowers and everything. She's such a good doobie. I felt so special. I was totally not needed, but I've enjoyed our time together. What would you like to say to the people as you sign off and head back to college?
Yes. So much to say. I think this month has brought, a lot of eye-opening experience. It's been incredible to, interact with this wonderful audience of Voice of the Caribbean, to feature on the Suzette Speaks show alongside the one and only Suzette Speaks. Listen, it's been amazing, and I think it all came from one conversation. So if I had to leave one, last little note, last little goodbye, I would encourage you all to do the same. If you have interest in something, if there's somebody that you look up to and would like to speak to, just do it. Let go of that fear, and you never know what could be on the other side. Because look at me, one conversation, and I was able to, be a co-host on this wonderful
and be a part of the team.
Wonderful team at Voice of the Caribbean. So thank you guys so much for the viewership, for tuning in all the time.
Yeah, they got to know you in a quick minute. Listen, when she come back for break, y'all asking. When she come back for break, she can come through. Listen.
Yes, I would love to come back.
She's
love to.
headed back to college, you guys, and we're wishing her well. We thank you so much for your wonderful service here during your internship. She has definitely brought a bright light here, and we are grateful that she was able to join us. And she won. I'm grateful to be a person that she can be using as a sounding board. And I want to thank. So shout out to our intern, Miss Lexi, as she heads back to college. Thank you so much for your lovely internship and service to the Voice of the Caribbean. You were amazing, and we thank you for being a part of the team, and we wish you nothing but the best. Thanks, Lexi.
Thank you so much.
All the best, y'all. We have taken up our extra time. Thanks to Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa B.
Don't worry. We're getting ready for the vibes. We're getting ready for, I think Miss Chin coming through. Miss Chin had us bumping yesterday. If you want a little Fire Friday nice and early, I know you're still at work. Some
dancehall.
Listen, I saw Mikey as I was leaving, and he was like, "What is she not doing over there?" So she came in with the fire in the Fire Friday. So I want to thank Miss Lexi. And I want to thank all of you. We appreciate you locked in here on Voice of the Caribbean, the Suzette Speaks show. If you want to reach the Caribbean American market here in South Florida, you know what to do. Call, DM, or email me. We're happy to share with you how you and your business can benefit from our services here at Voice of the Caribbean. Thank you so much for being a part of this audience, guys. We got to head out.
This is
Have a good
Voice of
weekend.
the Caribbean, better sounding radio.
Looking for a new car? Looking for a used car? Check out M&J Auto Sales. My bad. Oh, God, I've been saying it wrong. M&J United Auto Sales. M&J United Auto Sales. We will do all things other dealers can't do with no problem.
500 credit score and up?
No problem. Rebuilding your credit? No problem. No social? No problem. No credit? No problem. At M&J United Auto Sales.
At 3511 Northwest 19th Street in Lauderdale Lakes.
Find us online, mjcarsales.com, mjcarsales.com, or call 954-530-9366, 954-530-9366.
No credit? No problem. Everybody rides at M&J United Auto Sales in Lauderdale Lakes.
Come by today
And pick out your car.
M&J United Auto Sales is Caribbean owned and operated. The right tires for the road at Express Tire Plus. Express Tire Plus, a.k.a. the Pit Stop at 2496 Southwest 57th Avenue in West